Hi there, welcome back to the Queer Armor, and the ATF is coming for your rights, because I guess it's a day that ends in Y. So, we need to rally the troops, get people commenting on the ATF website. How do you reach out to people? The internet is a scary black hole full of every shit take and bad advice and negativity and just all of the bad vibes combined into one. Reaching out to people purely through online activism can feel like a nightmare. So, why not go out and talk to people? Whoa, before you leave, it's not as scary as it sounds. Trust me, if you figure out a few bits of tactics beforehand, present yourself in a clear and decent manner, and go out with a clear goal in mind, you can get a lot more people involved than you'd think. Before we get into that, I want to pause, and normally this is where I would point to my Patreon, but today, I want to point to the Firearms Policy Coalition, a group of badass lawyers that are constantly telling the ATF to go kick dirt. And, we need more of that. If you support the rights of everyday Americans and the Second Amendment, go support the Firearms Policy Coalition. Let's get super specific. The ATF comments. 2 of them need to be written by as many people as possible. 1 about pistol braces and 1 about redefining firearm generally. Doing this effectively is going to be relatively simple. First of all, print out this sheet. Put it on a clipboard. I'm not even joking. That, a clipboard, and a plain brightly colored shirt will get most people to understand you are out there trying to have positive conversations, and generally, if they're not up for talking, they'll avoid you as well. Just the clipboard and the shirt will be enough to convince most people that you're doing well and trying to do good as a form of an authority figure. Then, form a plan. Have a brief conversation written out in your head, vaguely talking about what you want to talk about. Make sure you can guide that conversation with that plan. Like most conversations, you're going to start with an intro. Here's a simple one. Hi, you have a minute to talk about defensive rights? 1, start off, big bright smile. 2, you've immediately started off with a question about do they want to talk about something. Most people, if you give them an opportunity to talk about something, will just talk about it ad infinitum. They want to find people who will listen. So, offer to have a conversation with them. You'd be amazed how many people will stop and talk to you. Sorry? Sure, what do you want? I'm out here today to talk about defensive rights. In particular, to talk about your rights and how the government feels they get to define them for you. We are all American citizens, and all American citizens are supposed to follow the law of the land, including our law enforcement. Our law enforcement isn't supposed to pick laws, they are supposed to enforce the laws as they are put forward by Senate and the Congress, and they are signed into law by the President. The ATF has decided they want the power to make law, and they are asking people to allow them to change what the laws mean, to change what a pistol brace means, to change the definition of a firearm. These are things that have been decided by Congress. And allowing the ATF to put forward their proposed rule changes is allowing law enforcement to pick the laws they want to enforce. Damn, that sucks, but what can I do about it? At the moment, the ATF currently has 2 proposed rule changes that are up for comment. If you believe in your rights as an American, and you want to tell the ATF they aren't allowed to change the law at their own whim, you can go onto their website and you can leave a comment for both. Easiest way to find the comments is Google ATF comment pistol braces or ATF comment redefine firearm, and inform them, politely but firmly, that you do not believe they should be allowed to randomly change the law, and you're going to follow up with your elected representatives if they try to do that. The more people we get writing, the less likely it is that they'll try and make this grab. And in the event that they do make this grab, the more likely it is that our elected officials will step forward and offer some remedy. They'll tell the ATF to back off. Sure, I'll do that. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And hey, thank you so much for standing up for our rights. Couple notes. Stay positive and non-confrontational at all times. You are representing a larger political movement when you are going out and having these conversations, so you want to try and stay positive. Remember, when you're having a conversation with somebody, you're not necessarily only having the conversation with somebody, and having a really negative interaction or a snap or mean interaction can convince far more people who were just listening in than that one conversation ever could have in the first place. And you're going to need to convince people that you're on their side fighting for their rights. The beautiful part of the script above is you can tailor it based on the conversation that you're going to have. And remember, you're going to need to have conversations with people. You're going to need to be engaging, and if you want them to be doing something, you're going to need to be meeting them where they are. If somebody says they're more on the defund the police lefty side, then talk about how the ATF shouldn't have these powers, how the ATF can be incredibly problematic. If somebody is on the hard right side, then talk about how American and patriotic it is to have access to building guns, and how the Second Amendment was put in by our founding fathers specifically for this purpose. Which leads to my most important point. Have a plan, but be ready to throw the plan out and just have a conversation with somebody. If somebody is actually being decent and genuine and wants to talk with you, great. That's what you're out there trying to do. You want to have conversations with people and genuinely get people thinking about these things. Some people will be assholes. Don't be assholes back. You are representing a group, and you need to be able to tell everyone, I am a calm, rational person. I am out here not because I feel insecure, but because I am fighting for people's basic rights. And perhaps most importantly, do not go visibly armed. If you have to go armed, go with some form of a concealed carry metric. Advocating for political change while armed can lead to the implication that you're advocating for political change by force, and you always want to avoid that implication. Make sure that you're dressing in something that's clean, simple, bright colors will always work best. If you can take a simple white shirt and a can of blue spray paint, you can paint this logo and go out as a part of a movement I have started literally just now. But if not, you can go out with basically think nice corporate, something that you could get away with wearing without a boss yelling at you at a nicest job. If you want to attach the logo to a shirt, simply cut out the logo from a printout, then take hairspray and spray it onto one side of the cutout, attach that to the shirt, attach some guides to the shirt to make sure that none of the other area gets hit with the fabric paint, and hit the fabric paint. It'll leave the logo behind in the stencil, and it'll look professional enough that you should be able to get away with that as a canvasser. And remember, do this as often as you can. Even just going out for 2 hours will make a huge impact. We have until September 8th on the pistol braces and until August 19th on the firearms redefinition. And both of them are going to need as many comments made as possible. So if you're up for even just like an hour or 2 hour stint, head out and talk to people. We need people going out and convincing people to write these messages. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hit subscribe if you want to see more content like this. My channel is full of a lot of gun building DIY projects, as well as talking about defensive rights. Again, hit up the Firearms Policy Coalition if you're a believer in the Second Amendment. They absolutely need your support as well. This is Queer Armor signing off. And remember, moral doesn't mean legal, and Stonewall was a riot. Peace.